So good morning, everyone. You know, it's always great to be here at Tuckahoe Volunteer Rescue Squad. You can see the sign, 100% volunteer since 1953. So this year, Tuckahoe will celebrate its 70th anniversary. Since its first call in December 1953, Tuckahoe Volunteer Rescue Squad has played a vital role in saving lives across our community. It predates, actually, the formal establishment of the Henrico Fire Division by nearly a decade. Today, Tuckahoe remains an all-volunteer, nonprofit organization that responds to emergency medical calls 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's also an essential partner to Henrico County and a complement to our police and fire divisions. Consider, if you will, the tremendous value that an organization like Tuckahoe brings to our community. Think of the millions of taxpayer dollars that are saved and have been saved since 1953 because the rescue squad's volunteers are willing to answer the call for service every single day. We say it all the time about our police officers, firefighters, EMTs, and 911 dispatchers, sheriff's deputies. But it rings true, just as true for these volunteers. Those called to work in public safety are just wired differently. They have hearts for service, and our community is stronger because of it. We can't say it enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for all that you do. So this morning, we're here to celebrate the completion of improvements to Horsepen Road. This busy stretch is now safer and more efficient for motorists, but it's also better for Tuckahoe Volunteer Rescue Squad. The improvements we've made will protect the volunteers and allow them to respond even more quickly to emergencies in the community. I want to thank the Dream Team at Public Works, Terrell Hughes and his group, for guiding this project and making sure it's done right. In addition to representatives of Public Works and our friends with the Rescue Squad, we are honored to be joined by Supervisor Pat O'Bannon. So before I yield the microphone, I also want to just take a personal moment and thank Mrs. O'Bannon. So ladies and gentlemen, Pat O'Bannon has served our county for 28 years with distinction. Without her vision and leadership, and without the support of the entire Board of Supervisors, projects like this simply could not happen. Ms. O'Bannon, you have advocated for this project for years, so thank you for what you have done here, but also thank you for your service to our county. Pat O'Bannon.
Thank you, Mr. Vithoulkas. And good morning. This is a beautiful day and a perfect thing to be doing this morning. We're here to celebrate another project that makes you understand Henrico County has a heart. Frank Thornton always talks about that we're a county with heart, and this is how we show our love. We do appreciate our people who live here and that would volunteer to do something like this since 1953. As you may know, Henrico County is one of only 2 localities in the state that manages its own road system. That means we are able to initiate a project such as this and work it out and don't have to go through the Virginia Department of Transportation, VDOT. Now this stretch of Horsepen Road between Patterson Avenue and Chopt Road, in case you hadn't noticed, gets a lot of traffic. More than 20,000 vehicle trips per day. I did contact Waze years ago, and I continue to contact Waze. They keep sending people this way. I say, please send them around. contact Waze. Last August, we kicked off this project to make this area safer and more efficient for motorists, for the residents who live nearby, and for the men and women of the Tuckahoe Volunteer Rescue Squad. First, we extended the right turn lane on Horsepen at its intersection with 3 Chopt and realigned Normandy Drive as it approaches Horsepen. For the Tuckahoe Volunteer Rescue Squad, the county created additional parking, enhanced access to Horsepen, and installed a guardrail to improve safety. They also extended a public utilities access road behind the Rescue Squad building. This is our large water tanks behind here, supply the water for a large part of this part of the West End. Now, they were much needed functional aspects of the project, but there's more. It's my privilege to announce that Henrico County is bestowing an honorary name on this portion of Horsepen in recognition of Tuckahoe Volunteer Rescue Squad and their many contributions and sacrifices made by their members. Beginning today, this stretch of Horsepen Road will be forever known as the Honorary Raymond H. Therien Way. Mr. Raymond H. Therien was a charter member of the rescue squad who died in 1960 in the line of duty. He lived nearby on Forest Avenue, and at his death, he was 49 years old. On January 15, 1960, Mr. Therien was in an ambulance providing oxygen to a patient who was being rushed to the hospital. Now remember, in 1960, we didn't have Henrico doctors or St. Mary's. The ambulance was going to Richmond Memorial Hospital, probably the nearest hospital to this. As the ambulance was traveling east on Westwood Avenue, it collided with a car, spun, and struck a utility pole. Both Mr. Therien and the patient died from injuries in the crash. In a few moments, we will unveil one of 2 signs that will recognize the honorary name for Horsepen and the ultimate sacrifice of a volunteer, Mr. Therien, made for his community. As motorists travel through this area and notice the signs, I hope they will slow down and take a moment to reflect on the sacrifices made by Mr. Therien and other volunteers of the Tuckahoe Volunteer Rescue Squad. For 70 years and counting, Henrico County has been and is safer and healthier because of the devoted, highly skilled men and women who are willing to serve. At this time, I would invite the Tuckahoe Volunteer Rescue Squad President, Eric Dement, to make a few remarks. Thank you, and Mr. Dement.
All good morning. I'm honored today to stand and witness the naming of Horsepen Road near our station out of respect for Raymond Therien. I'd like to thank the county manager, local supervisors for making this happen and attending today. Plus, I'd like to thank the other distinguished guests and representatives from Henrico Fire and police and members from Tuckahoe. Raymond, like many thousands of volunteers that have selfishly served the citizens of the county and embraced the doors of Tuckahoe Volunteer Rescue Squad, none expected payment for their services, but all accepted all of the risk. Has a lot to do with, and that has a lot to do with what made EMS in the county that it is today. After, I remember Earl Williams brought it to our attention and suggested the idea of maybe having the road renamed. I asked him to do some research, and he later contacted the Board of Supervisors with the request for the renaming of the road. From what I understand, they immediately jumped on the opportunity, got the wheels in motion to make this happen. Everyone agreed that we would wait until after these wonderful road improvements were all completed to have this ceremony. I have spoken with the fellow members that recall Raymond and have been involved with volunteer EMS in Henrico for many years, and we believe this is the only volunteer EMS provider to have died in the line of duty. I'd like to thank Raymond again for his service, and thank all of y'all for attending.
Thank you, Eric. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do now is if I can ask Mrs. O'Bannon and Mr. Dement to please step up to the sign, and we're going to do a little reveal.